All right, guys, this is the first dry patch. You can see it's pretty dirty. We just keep alternating wet patch, dry patch, wet patch, dry patch until the dry patch comes out 90% clean. You don't have to go crazy. You want to make sure that your solvent is a copper solvent. I have this Bortec Eliminator, which is a multi-purpose bore cleaner. It takes out copper as well as other stuff. So we're going to put a wet patch on now. And when you do this break-in, guys, make sure you don't get your solvent on the shooting benches. I accidentally got a few drops here, but try to not get it on the shooting benches because your club is going to be mad at you. So just be careful, be mindful of that. We're on our second wet patch now. I took 9 shots already. 9 shots today so far. Here's our second wet patch. You can see it's a little bit of lead and powder, but you can start to see it's taking out some of the copper. You can see some blue colors in there. And that's what we want to do. We're focusing on taking the copper out, removing the copper so we get fresh steel exposed to the bullets. And we just take a couple shots, clean, take a couple shots, clean. Now, if your rifle is completely brand new, you want to do 1 shot clean, 1 shot clean, and do that the first 10 shots. And then after that, you can do 3 to 5 shots, and then clean, 3 to 5 shots, and then clean, and do that a couple of times. But I've already shot this rifle quite a bit. I've put probably, I would say, 300 rounds through it already. So I'm taking like 5 or 10 shots and then cleaning. And here's the second dry patch. So keep going, get this nice and clean. It's a little bit tedious, but honestly, if you're sighting in your rifle, it's not a big deal because you got to let your barrel cool down anyway. You want to wait till your barrel cools down when you're sighting in, because what's going to happen is if you keep shooting on a warm barrel, your point of impact is going to be all over the place. So you shouldn't take more than 3 shots in a row when you're sighting in, and let the barrel come to a complete cool down, which usually takes about 15 minutes. So while the barrel's cooling down, you just clean, and break in your barrel while it's cooling down rather than sitting around doing nothing. At least you could be doing something. So this is the third wet patch. You can see it's pretty clean already now. All right, you can see some of the blue in there. That means we're taking the copper off the rifling, and that's what we want to do. We want to get all that copper off in between shot strings, in between cleaning. See the little blue might be hard to see, but some guys use nylon brushes. You can do that if you want. It just adds complexity and takes more time. I think just using patches is the best way to go, in my opinion, because it's faster. You don't want to be out here all day long cleaning and breaking in your barrel. I mean, if you have the time to do that, that's fine, but you don't want to overcomplicate it. Just clean the damn thing. Don't get too crazy with it. Of course, using a nylon brush is better because you'll get a lot of the stubborn copper out, but it's better that you just clean it rather than not clean it at all. Even if you just clean with patches, it's still better than not cleaning at all. So this is the third dry patch. You can see it's getting pretty clean. So we'll be ready to do another shot string here soon. And hopefully we'll see the accuracy increase as we break in the barrel. The MOA should go down as we smooth out the rifling, all the rough parts, the microscopic rough parts that you can't really see, that it's unavoidable from the machining process when they make these barrels. And there's 3 different types of ways that barrels are made. You have cold hammer forging, you have button rifling, and you have cut rifling. Cut rifling is the type of barrel you definitely want to break in. You're going to get a lot of benefit from breaking in a cut rifled barrel. Button rifled barrels, you don't really need to break in. Same thing with hammer forged barrels. That's what they say, but honestly, I've actually gotten a lot of good results from breaking in a hammer forged and a button rifled barrel, even though people say it doesn't really do anything. I've seen it personally. My groups go down. For example, on my Ruger M77 Hawkeye Alaskan, after I broke that barrel in, it went down from 1 MOA to quarter MOA for basically all types of ammo, even cheap factory ammo, low-grade ammo. I'm still getting quarter MOA. When I first got the gun, brand new, no break-in, it was printing 1 MOA accuracy, and that's a hammer-forged barrel. I did a break-in, and now it's a quarter MOA. So this is our 4th wet patch. You can see it's pretty clean, so we'll be ready to shoot again now. We'll take a couple more shots. And, you know, today I'm just shooting at long range, practicing some long range, testing out different ammo to see what kind of dope I need for different ammo. So that's what I'm doing. You can see it's mostly copper that's coming out now. You can see some of the blue colors there on the patch. So we've taken the powder and the lead off, and now it's mostly copper coming out. So we'll do a couple more patches here and then take another shot string. So we're on the 5th wet patch now. You can see it's mostly clean. There's a little bit of copper coming out. And some of that black stuff there, that's from the flash hider, actually. When this passes by the flash hider, it picks up some of the residue there. So that was the 5th wet patch. Now we're going to do a dry patch, and then I think we'll be ready to shoot. And I'm not exactly sure what type of rifling I have on this barrel. This is a POF Rogue Patriot Ordnance Factory. I'm not sure if they have a cut rifled barrel on this one or if this is button rifled. I'm not too sure, but they do say it is match grade, so that could mean that it's cut rifled. There's the 5th dry patch. So I think I'm going to do just one more wet patch, and then that's it. One more wet patch, and then just dry it out real good. You want to make sure you dry out the bore really good. You don't want to have any kind of overpressure issues. For safety purposes, you don't want to have a wet bore, so make sure you dry the bore out good. And also for accuracy, you definitely don't want to have a wet bore because your accuracy will be terrible. So make sure you dry the bore out real good. Pass a couple dry patches in. So here's the 5th dry patch. You can see it's very clean. A couple of streaks, but that's mostly from the flash hider there. And you can see the back is just perfectly clean. So I'm just going to pass one or two more, probably 2 more dry patches through, and we'll be ready to shoot again. And hopefully the accuracy will improve. And another thing that breaking in a barrel does, beside increase accuracy, it also reduces the fouling in general, because when you have a rough bore, if the bore is rough because it's got a lot of nicks and burrs, microscopic nicks and burrs from the machining process, whether they use button rifling or hammer forging or cut rifling, it's going to accumulate more fouling. So you'll see that as you shoot your gun and as you clean and as you break it in, it's going to get less and less fouled out. It's going to take more shots to foul out the bore as you break the barrel in, because you're smoothing out all those nicks and burrs that you can't see with the naked eye when you break in, because you're removing all the fouling in between shot strings, and then you're cleaning, and that allows the bullets to smoothen out all those little nicks and burrs and just polish the bore. That's what you're doing when you're breaking in. You're basically polishing the bore by shooting and cleaning, shooting and cleaning. You're polishing. That's all you're doing. It's exactly what it is. So looks like we're pretty clean now, nice and dry. We want to make sure that bore is nice and dry before we shoot again. And it may take a lot of patches, and that's okay. It's worth it. In my opinion, it's worth it to do on a new gun. And again, this gun is semi-new. I've shot it quite a bit already. I just didn't do an official barrel break-in procedure because I just didn't have time to do it yet. And because I was moving, and then after moving, winter came, and I'm not going to be breaking in a barrel when it's 5 degrees outside. So I think we're ready to take a few more shots now. Alright guys, I just took a 3-shot string and we're going to clean it again. And the last time I actually took a 9-shot string. That's why it was so dirty, but this time it shouldn't be as dirty because I only took 3 shots. And as you start to clean, each round of cleaning you do between strings, you'll start to see it gets cleaner and cleaner, which means that you're breaking it in. So first wet patch, string number 2. Now we do a dry patch. Here's our first dry patch. Here's our second wet patch. Look at that. Look how clean that is. Starting to break it in. You can see some of the copper there. Some of those blue streaks, copper. That's how you do it, guys. Just do 1 shot, then clean, 1 shot, then clean initially. Do that, let's say, the first 10 rounds. And then you can do 3 to 5 shot strings and then clean. Here's our second dry patch. You can see it's pretty much all copper. It's all blue. It means it's all copper there, which is good. That's what we want to do. We want to take that copper off. So this way we can expose it to the next rounds and smooth everything out, polish everything. But that's pretty much it, guys. That's how you do it. That's how you break in a barrel. So I'm going to keep cleaning here, guys. I'm going to keep shooting and cleaning, shooting and cleaning until the sun goes down. And I'll check in with you guys in a little bit. Here's the third wet patch. Look how clean that is. There's nothing but copper in there. That's how we know we're starting to break in the barrel. I'll check back with you guys when I'm done. Alright guys, so now we're on our third round of cleaning here. Took a couple more shots. And think about each time that you clean is kind of like an extra trip to the range. Because if you didn't do your barrel break-in, if let's say all you do is just clean after you go to the range, I already did 3 cleans, 3 rounds of cleaning, so that's like 3 trips to the range basically. So you see how doing the barrel break-in just accelerates everything and increases the rate of breaking in versus if you just normally went to the range and cleaned the rifle, went to the range, cleaned the rifle. It would take you years to do what you could do in one afternoon by doing a barrel break-in. Because if you figure, let's say you go to the range 10 times a year, that's once a month, you clean your rifle after every trip. I just cleaned my rifle 3 times, and I just did that in a matter of 2 hours rather than over a few months. So and it's getting much easier to clean. I actually fired 6 shots, and this is the second wet patch, and look at how clean that wet patch is. This is just the second wet patch. So I'm going to keep cleaning, guys. I'm going to take a couple more shots, and then I'll check back in with you when I'm done. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it. That's how you break in a barrel. Pretty straightforward. So I hope you guys go out there and break in all your barrels if you haven't done so yet, especially if it's a new-ish gun. And I just fired 5 strings and cleaned in between each string. And the next time I go to the range, I'm going to do the same thing. Fire a couple strings, clean in between them. But today I got 5 strings done, which is really good. So the barrel's probably mostly broken in, but another trip or 2 to the range and some more cleaning and shooting, and it should be 100% ready to go. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope this video helped you out. Take care. God bless. And don't forget the 3 Ps. Prepare, practice, and persevere.